What's going on, YouTube? Come back at you with another video. Okay, so I'm trying to find and bring everything that I can that's interesting as far as this ARAB case is concerned. One thing I found that I didn't see anywhere else that I don't know, if anybody knows about or is aware of is this, and it's very interesting. So this is coming from, this is a response to the memorandum motion to suppress. I'm going to read this to you. Defendant Hans Gadsden has filed a motion to suppress evidence secured from his cell phone, which FBI agents allegedly seized after he was arrested in Woodland Hills, California on March 6-7, 2019. FBI Special Agent Becker testified at a hearing held on September 4, 2019 as one of the arresting officers. The FBI had secured the arrest warrant from Mr. Gadsden and learned of his whereabouts in Los Angeles. He was apprehended near his residence and after a brief struggle was transported to Los Angeles Police Station by Agent Becker and Agent Simpson. Agent Becker testified to giving Miranda warnings to Mr. Gadsden and that Mr. Gadsden executed the waiver of Miranda rights, which was followed by a lengthy verbal interview lasting over an hour. The transcript of the interview was marked as an exhibit at the hearing. So let me just explain that to people who don't understand the significance of that. Let me read it to you one more time, the part that I found the most interesting. Agent Becker testified to giving Miranda warnings to Mr. Gadsden, and Mr. Gadsden executed the waiver of Miranda rights, which was followed by a lengthy verbal interview lasting over 1 hour. So Mr. Gadsden, Hans Gadsden, talked to the people, gave them an interview, and waived his Miranda rights. That's something to be, that's a very interesting thing in this case. So I'm going to read a little bit more. The cell phone had been taken from Mr. Gadsden as he was being arrested. There was apparently no mention of the cell phone or its contents during the interrogation of Mr. Gadsden. Following the interrogation, on the way to the detention center, Agent Becker testified he verbally asked Mr. Gadsden if he would consent to the FBI searching the phone or would he require a warrant. According to Agent Becker, Mr. Gadsden stated that he would consent, but added, "There is nothing on it." Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Some of this isn't really that relevant. I guess I'll just read it. It says, Mr. Gadsden testified at the hearing largely in accord with Agent Becker's testimony, but differed on the issue of giving his consent to search the cell phone. Mr. Gadsden testified that he acknowledged that Agent Becker asked him about the cell phone, but Mr. Gadsden stated he did not give consent, but asserted that the FBI should secure a warrant. So there was some issue he was trying to raise as to whether or not there was legally consent to search the cell phone. The FBI special agent testified that there was. Gadsden is saying that there wasn't. So I'm going to keep reading. There had been no testimony about the code for the cell phone during Agent Becker's testimony. After Mr. Gadsden testified that he had not revealed the code, the court inquired whether Agent Becker had any recollection of discussing the code with Mr. Gadsden. After consulting with Agent Becker, the AUSA then asked for an offer of proof as to any rebuttal testimony by Agent Becker that the agent could not recall any discussion about the code during the discussion of the cell phone. Okay, I'm going to skip all the way down. Okay, I'm going to read this. This is where it gets important. Okay, I'm actually going to read this. Let's see. The court, faced with a dispute about whether there was actual consent or not, determines that Agent Becker's credibility deserves more weight than Mr. Gadsden. The primary reason for this finding is that Mr. Gadsden's assertion that he had denied consent to search the phone is totally inconsistent with his behavior that day. Mr. Gadsden waived his Miranda rights and gave a lengthy statement to the FBI, which included many incriminating statements. Certain parts of the transcript show Mr. Gadsden was attempting to be completely honest and candid with the agents in his knowledge of the conspiracy alleged in this indictment, or in the indictment. So whether or not, or what, as to what exactly he was saying, I don't know. But it's clear that based on this paperwork that Mr. Gadsden talked to the FBI and gave them a lengthy statement, which certain parts were apparently incriminating. So he told on himself in the very least, and also potentially, we don't know what else he told at this point, but it's very interesting to note that this is the situation as far as Gadsden is concerned. This was an old piece of paperwork, actually. So this was a ruling that had happened where it was ultimately ruled that this agent's testimony held more weight than Gadsden. But it says clear as day, Gadsden waived his Miranda rights and also gave a lengthy statement to the FBI, which included many incriminating statements. Definitely a crazy situation. Not sure if he told on anybody else. I'm definitely not trying to put it out there like he's telling on everybody in this case the same way as Dante Stewart. But in this paperwork, it's clear as day. He told on himself, bare minimum. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate you watching. Hit the like, subscribe, share. Leave some feedback. Ring the notification bell. Peace.